A lot of times you have the story first, and then you come up with the enemies. But this time around, our artists came up with a group of amazing, high-quality enemies, but we couldn't put them all in, so we had to figure out how we were going to organize them. So we started out with getting 4 greater fiends, who are kind of the big bosses of the game.
You may call me Alexei.
Wolf, greater fiend and ruler of storms. I am Sidonius, ruler of flame.
I am Elizabeth.
So that's how things started. Now we know who our main bosses are going to be, but we have a huge amount of high-quality enemies that have already been modeled and are ready to be put in. Now, for various reasons, we can't put every single one of those enemies in. We went in and decided what enemy was going to be in the game and which were not. Every guy on a team has enemies that he likes, that he's worked on, he doesn't want to see go. We might be out drinking one night, and one of the team members will saddle up to me with a drink, and he'd be acting like a door-to-door salesman. He'd be like, well, you know, that this enemy has a really cool tail attack, and I just want you to know that he could be really fun in certain situations. So some enemies actually got put back in because some of the team members were so attached.
The enemies in the game, they really come at you with everything they've got. They're just filled with a desire to finish you off.
That increases the pleasure that you get when you finally defeat those enemies.
The enemy AI is responding intelligently to the battle that's going on. So the way you injure the enemy AI is going to actually influence the way they fight you. The intensity of the fighting is going to be ratcheted up because this enemy is going to feel more threatened. They're going to be desperate. You almost feel like you're playing against a human player.
The first game was basically, you got an enemy's life down to 0, now he's dead. But in this game, you can lop off limbs and then do an obliteration technique which will finish an enemy off quicker.
But one of the coolest things about the obliteration technique system is that it'll actually change up the move depending on the situation. So you might get one move for, you know, a left arm, and you might get another move for a right arm, and then a different move for you know, a decapitation or for a leg missing. So even on the same weapon and even on the same enemy, you're going to see different animations depending on what happens.
So if an enemy loses an arm or loses a leg, their AI will change accordingly, and the attacks that they do will change accordingly. If an enemy has lost an arm or a leg, you can finish them off quicker, so you have the incentive to finish the battles faster.
Very important to be able to win a fight as quickly as possible. That's what the ninja wanted to do. Get it over with very quickly so that somebody else wouldn't sneak a lucky move in or wear down the ninja or give them time for their allies to show up and assist them. So it became very, very important. One move, fight's over.
Itagaki-san has talked about a lot in interviews. There's definitely a idea in the Japanese warrior code that you know, if you're fighting a guy who's, you know, reasonably skilled, that there should be a certain amount of respect. Hayabusa, you know, respects this, and rather than letting an enemy, you know, suffer, putting them out of their misery is one way of saying, hey, I respect you, you fought well, now it's time for your soul to go on to the next plane.